Hurricane Idalia.
Idalia's track.
Idalia. Hurricane Idalia.
Hurricane Idalia. Hurricane Idalia is now a Category 2.
Overnight, Hurricane Idalia grew from a Category 1 hurricane to a monster Category 4 storm.
It's a given. It's going to become a Cat 4.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to another car vlog. I am at the beach right now, and so many of you have been DMing me, asking me about the hurricane that we recently had here. And if you've been following me for a couple years now, I typically try to do at least one hurricane vlog a year.
Get out, get as far west as you can.
At the Category 2 level is when you should start evacuating. Right now, I'm looking for a flashlight. All right, so I was gonna get a case of water, but I guess they don't have any more left. I'll have to go to a different store. I really wanted to do it with this last hurricane that we had, Hurricane Idalia, but things were a little bit crazy, so I figured we're gonna do a little story time mixed in with a little bit of footage from my personal camera, the news, and then I'm also gonna be taking you on a little tour of some of the areas that I talk about in this video. I really wish I would have vlogged everything in the moment and in real time, but like I said, it was crazy, and I'll get into the nitty-gritty details of it in this video. I just want to make a little disclaimer before we even start the video. We got really lucky. We did not have a ton of damage. A lot of places had it a lot worse, so this is not a feel bad for me video. This is not a video looking for sympathy. This is just an educational video. But I also do want to say, for those that were really affected badly by Hurricane Idalia, my heart goes out to you. I will try to find some links to different organizations and fundraisers, and I will link those all down below. All right, where do I start with Miss Idalia? I was on a trip out of Washington, DC. I flew up maybe, I need to even look what day that was. My dates are like totally mixed up after everything that just happened in the last week. We had the hurricane, I went to a wedding, Jimmy Buffett died. I'm still grieving that loss. A lot of stuff. That will be in the next vlog that I post, though. I did vlog all of that. Oh, I went to London on Thursday the 24th, and then I did another trip, and was it the 27th? Sunday the 27th is when they were like, yeah, it's coming for Tampa. It's gonna be a little bad.
It is going to start moving, and it is going to get a lot stronger than it is now. We have hurricane watches up from near Punta Gorda, Florida, all the way around to past Apalachicola. Tarika, people need to evacuate.
So that's when I started to get worried. The 27th, I started a 2-day trip, so I figured I'll just come back on Monday, and then I'll fly straight to Tampa, get everything ready for the hurricane. I'll be home. Well, life threw a little wrench in my plans. So Monday comes, and I'm planning to come home that night, and for a totally unrelated reason, the flight that I needed to take to get me back to Tampa was canceled. So whatever, I have to move on from that. Then I think, all right, well, the hurricane isn't gonna be there Tuesday morning. I'll just fly home Tuesday morning on the first flight. Well, then Tampa announced that the airport was gonna be closing Monday night at 11:59 p.m. and remain closed until the storm was over.
Tampa International Airport is preparing to close theirs in less than 1 hour from now.
I looked at all my options. Obviously, I couldn't get onto anything to Tampa because airport's closed. No planes are coming in, no planes are leaving. So I'm looking at going to Orlando. Flights were kind of full to Orlando. And then last minute, the airline that I work for added an extra flight to Sarasota to help people get out of Sarasota for the hurricane. But here I come strolling along like, doo-doo-doo. I'm gonna get on the flight to Sarasota. And you may be asking like, Hunter, what the heck are you thinking? Why would you fly in for the hurricane? Most people are evacuating, leaving the hurricane.
Mandatory evacuation orders have been issued across the Bay Area for Zone A in Citrus, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, and Manatee counties.
And you're flying in. Well, we had a lot of stuff to do. You know, there's a lot of prep that goes into a hurricane coming. You gotta stock your house, food and water. Make sure you have water to use the toilet, like reserved water. You gotta put your hurricane shutters up. There's a lot of work that needs done. And those of you that are in Florida, you kind of know the prep that goes into a hurricane. A lot of people here just like don't give a so they just raw dog life. I do like to be a little prepared. I ended up getting on the flight that they added from Chicago actually to Sarasota because I was supposed to fly back to DC but just as a passenger, so I waived that flight and flew directly from Chicago to Sarasota. John came down and picked me up in Sarasota. The weather was not bad yet. And this is still Tuesday. The hurricane was hitting like Tuesday night late into Wednesday morning. We came home. Thankfully, John did a lot of the grocery shopping in advance. We did need a couple more things. We picked up a few things from the store because they were closing at 6. We just wanted to make sure that we had everything, like every possible thing that we would need. Got all that done, helped John's aunt put up her hurricane shutters, got our big tubs of water ready just in case, because a lot of people in our area did lose power. And then basically just waited, watched the Weather Channel. It was first a category 1, then a category 2, then a category 3. So we were definitely preparing for whatever life was gonna throw at us. So at this point, we're not really sure what the trajectory of the hurricane is. It still says it could hit Tampa head on, but they're also talking about now it could curve up to like the panhandle of Florida. So we really didn't know what to expect. And if you're a Tampa local or a Tampa native or whatever, there is this, I don't want to say rumor. It's not a rumor. There's a saying that they say Tampa's a blessed city.
Some Floridians believe the sacred Tocobaga had something to do with it.
I feel it's very much real.
Take that with a grain of salt. I mean, I don't really know. People would say that here a lot though. If you're from Tampa, you know what I'm talking about. But like I said earlier, we just want to be prepared for whatever life throws at us. So, you know, we get everything ready and then please don't come for me or judge me or anything, because I know people that are not from Florida love to talk on hurricane parties, because obviously this is like a natural disaster coming, but there are a lot of hurricane parties in Florida. And my friend had everyone over. She had all of our friends over. We had like a mini hurricane party before the storm came. It wasn't even like raining or anything yet. We went over to her house, had a few drinks, and then came back to the house and got ready for bed. I don't know exactly what time it was, but at some point in the middle of the night, I could definitely hear the wind starting to pick up. It was like that howling sound. It was really loud. And I was like, it's here, Idalia's here. And I'm thinking like, oh God, please let this roof stay on. Please let the roof stay on. I have a giant palm tree in my front yard. I mean, the thing has to be like at least 20 feet tall. And that is always our biggest concern during the hurricane, is that palm tree snapping and falling on the house, on the car. While I'm praying for the roof to stay on, I'm also praying that that palm tree stays right where it needs to stay. I ended up going back to bed and I woke up and by a miracle, we were fine. Tampa did not get the eye of the storm. We just got the outer bands, and with the outer bands, you just get a bunch of rain and wind. I could be wrong about this. I'm gonna be a little like iffy how I talk about this, but there was something with the moon and the tide. It was like high tide while this was happening.
Tampa avoided the eye of Hurricane Idalia, but the powerful storm left behind a lot of flooding.
There is a lot of water, and unfortunately, there's no time for that to recede before we get the king tide in a few hours. So we are looking at additional flooding here in our area.
So because we got so much rain, a lot of Tampa flooded. Thankfully, the neighborhood that we live in, it really didn't get much damage. I consider us super lucky because we live like 2 miles, not even, from the water, and our house didn't flood. That next morning, after things had died down, I took a little drive around the city and there were some areas that were not so lucky.
As a reference, we're on Bay Shore Boulevard near Swan and Magnolia Avenue.
This is the Tampa River Walk, where normally folks would be able to walk along this area.
We started in Tarpon Springs tonight. The downtown area completely flooded from Idalia's storm surge yesterday.
I mean, as you can see, a lot of places were underwater. It was really crazy. And I'm gonna insert some pictures for y'all of things that I personally saw, that I went and saw. This picture you're looking at is the boat dock, the boat ramp. It was completely underwater. That flooding was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it was definitely still underwater. There's a couple more angles and pictures of different docks there. This boat, I cannot remember, but I swear, I'm like 75% sure that this boat has been underwater for a long time. I'm pretty sure I've been here before and that boat was also underwater then. Just with the high tide and everything, I think it's more underwater than it was. This is like the main street in the Springs where the sponge docks and stuff are. It was completely underwater. They had the news there. You guys can see totally underwater, like really flooded.
It looked like a river.
A total river, and a lot of stores took in a lot of water.
He showed us this video of water rushing into the business early Wednesday morning.
So this street that I'm turning down right now was actually the street in the pictures I was showing you that was affected by the flood. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I can tell in person. A lot of the businesses have reopened. Obviously, you can tell the floodwaters are completely gone. This street right here, this exact spot where I'm standing, there were people kayaking.
Here's Lois. There's Jake.
Kayaking. but it's nice to see business as usual down here again. You just saw my favorite restaurant here is open. That's a great sign. This street is really, I would say 99% small businesses owned by locals down here. So it's nice to see people have reopened. There's still some things that are closed. There's still a couple stores that are closed. I think that one restaurant I just passed is still closed. But for sitting right on the water, I mean, right on the water, and the amount of flooding they had down here, things are doing pretty good. One of our good family friends here in Florida actually owns a store in this area, and it got pretty messed up in the storm. It flooded. They had to like rip all the flooring and stuff out, all the shelvings that were like low to the ground. They haven't reopened yet. They're still in the process of reopening, but hopefully within the next week or so they should be open. And then what really shocked me was one of my favorite bars. It's on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. It connects my house to downtown Tampa. Their restaurant got completely hit by the storm surge. I mean, it's actually insane, and this footage is like heartbreaking to watch. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I could not even believe it. It might be hard to tell on camera, but you can definitely tell this parking lot was flooded. There's a lot of like dirt and stuff out here, but I'm pulling into the restaurant that I showed y'all that was like completely filled with water, and I'm not gonna go inside because I'm just not gonna go inside, but I will show you kind of what it looks like now. I mean, clearly you can see it's already packed. All right, so these are the tiki huts down here. Oh, you can't see. They have it kind of like all blocked off. I'm gonna try to get a clip up here. Y'all should be able to see that the beach is like totally back open. That is the little tiki bar area. They've like took down some of the tiki huts, but otherwise it looks good. Something that was really helpful though with Idalia was maybe a day or two after all the flooding had happened, the water was gone. I mean, the water completely back where it was supposed to be. Like, you drive through and it was a lot better. Like I said in the beginning of this vlog though, there were a lot of communities and a lot of people that have really been affected by Idalia, and a lot of people took the eye of the storm head on. People lost their homes, people lost their cars, their valuables, like prized possessions. So my heart really does go out to them. And again, I will try to find some links down below of ways we can help support them. That was our Idalia experience. We are so thankful that it wasn't as bad as they were saying it was going to be. We're so thankful we didn't get the eye of the storm. Hurricane season is not over yet though. They are predicting some more storms out in the Atlantic right now. They say there's one forming that could turn into a Category 5, but I've seen a couple things saying it's not coming to Florida. So we'll see what's going on with that storm. I'm not really sure about that yet. So we shall see, but thank you all for coming to my little post-hurricane update vlog. This is not how I wanted to do this video, guys. If you go back and watch my other hurricane videos, they're so much more fun. They're in the moment, but I just really wanted to come on here and talk about Idalia because I know there's a couple people on here that were interested. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If God forbid we do get another hurricane this year, let me know down in the comments if you want me to vlog that experience, like the full entire thing again. Also, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned because I will be posting a vlog sometime in the next week or so, I would guess, of the last week of my life, which was really fun. I told you John and I went to a wedding, and I hate saying this, I hate saying it. Jimmy Buffett died. I said it, I'm not saying it again. I'm very upset about this. That'll all be in that vlog. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.